Good morning. It is a crispy October morning and it's Saturday and it's the only sunny day all week and we've been on this island for a week, so it's time to skedaddle. The port I want to go to today is about 20 something away and I've got headwinds. The prognosis for today is like what was it? I think it was like I'm gonna start out with like 16 to 18 knots average wind with like 22 gusts, and that's gonna die off during the day. So at like 1 or 2 I'm gonna have like 4 knots average wind, but still like 20 knots gusts. So that's gonna be interesting. Yeah, and it's headwinds. Did I say that? I'm really tired. Yeah, it's headwinds. And I'm gonna try to get there before dark. We'll see if I do. Yeah, so first I'm gonna walk Nano, which is what I'm doing right now. And then I'm gonna prep the boat and then I will leave.
Hi, my name is Nova Lohman and I am a solo sailor. For 5 years, I completely renovated my sailboat, a beautiful old vessel from the 1970s. And in the summer of 2021, I set sail without any timeline for returning home. On board with me is my loyal companion, my dog Neno.
It's time to cast off. I know some of you asked me to show you like how I maneuver the boat, which is kind of funny because I used to say that recording yourself while doing a tricky maneuver is it's just bad luck. Because I could do something 10 times and it would look great, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna record this, and then every time I recorded it it turned to shit. So I just decided I was never gonna film a tricky maneuver. So filming like a how-to seems like the baddest of luck, but we'll see. I think like first and foremost I'm gonna say that this is not this is how you do it. This is how I do it and how I do it. I'm sure there are a million ways to do everything. So I'm just going to show you how I do things. Yeah, so when I'm casting off right now and I'm alongside and it's actually perfect conditions. So I think anyone could cast off with this wind. Oh wait, now the wind just shifted. Oh, whatever. Anyways, I'm alongside, I have 4 lines. I'm just gonna remove 2 of them. Probably the one furthest in the front and the one furthest in the back. And then I can grab the 2 middle ones and just kind of hop on. And when I'm hopping on, I will just kind of push out a little bit. I have land in front of me, so I'm going to be reversing out, and there is a vast amount of space, so I'm not concerned about that at all. So yeah, that's what we're doing. And then we're gonna hoist sail fairly quickly because I usually do, and then we will be sailing.
turns out I will not be reversing out. I will be kind of swooping about out. I'm not sure how deep it is here, so I'm just gonna let the boat move at its own pace, and then when I feel safe about it, I'm gonna put some gas and maneuver out. I think the biggest advice I can give to anyone who wants to sail alone is to just relax. I think people are very used to being more than one person on board, and then you have hands kind of everywhere to compensate when something goes to hell. But when you're alone, you don't really have that. So what you have to do instead is just think things through and just accept the fact that you're never gonna be able to be in two places at once. Like, it doesn't matter how fast you run, you're never gonna be able to be in two places at once. So you just like let that idea go. I met a child, a boy, this summer, and he was like, "Oh, you sail alone? That's so crazy. Like, how do you have time to be everywhere and do everything and like hoist the sails and steer the boat?" I was like, I don't think I've ever moved as slowly on a boat as I do now. Like, the more used to this I get, the slower I move, because I just plan things ahead and then I don't have to be fast, because being fast leads to mistakes, and mistakes can cost you a lot when you're alone. What I do have is a tiller pilot, and the wind vane, of course, but the tiller pilot is really neat in these situations. To say I wouldn't be able to do it without the tiller pilot is a lie, because I could, and I have. This one is, it's seen a lot. It's died on me several times because I haven't been treating it well. But these days I take care of it. But yeah, it's definitely possible to do it without it. It's just a lot harder. So tiller pilot and keeping calm. Biggest tip.
Toby cast off like 2.5 hours later than me, and it took them 1.5 hours to catch up. Where are you? There. Yeah, we're both motoring right now. Toby's been running the engine from the start, and I have been tacking my way forward, which is why it was so easy to catch up. But anyways, Well, I guess Toby's gonna have to find us a good spot in the harbor and wait for me. I would also like to make an announcement that the weather is so nice. Last year I came back to Sweden in like September or something, and I came back to Stockholm. I think I came to my home port on October 6th, and it was so cold. I came to Södertälje, which is like maybe 20 nautical miles away from my home port, and I arrived there. And I waited a few days because my mom was coming with me for the last leg of the journey. So I had to wait for the weekend so she could come join me. And while I was there, I had frost. So on the morning we left, there was frost. And it was like, I remember coming into the archipelago for the first time last year. And it was so cold. Like, I'd done an overnighter. And like, I had been fine because I'd mostly spent the night inside, but Neno had slept all night with his like thickest jacket on, and in the morning he wanted to be outside for some reason, even though it was raining and it was probably like 4 degrees, and it was so cold. And I remember him looking at me like, "Where are we, Mom?" Like he'd never been to Sweden before, he'd never been this far north before, and he looked at me and it was like, "What the damn hell, what is this nonsense?" And yeah, and then when I came back to my home port, it was also raining and really cold. And right now it is October, I don't know, like 11th or something, and it's stunning weather. We'll see about tomorrow, because tomorrow it's gonna be raining, but yeah, right now I'm just enjoying and looking at all of these trees that are turning orange. And it's really crispy in the air and it's lovely. I'm really enjoying this. This trip will be the last of this, well, I can't say season for sure, maybe the last of the season, but definitely the last of this trip. I've been out for 6 months, and now I will be back. So yeah, I've had some mixed feelings about it, because I've had the best time these last 6 months, but I can't sustain myself anymore because there's too little sun, the sun is too low and it's like not up and up and up and up. So I felt like this was definitely the weekend to go into the city. And I've been feeling like, yeah, it's the right thing to do, but at the same time really sad about it. But now I'm starting to see, you know, buildings that you don't see in the archipelago, towers and like and stuff, and I'm getting really excited. I'm going to stay outside of the city for tonight. It's gonna be Toby and I's last night together for the season. So we're gonna stay together and go have some dinner, and then tomorrow I'm going into the city. This is Editing Nova coming at you just to explain what I mean when I say the last sail of the trip, because I have been out sailing since 2021, yeah, and then I was sailing for 3 years, no, wait, where's the math, like 2.5 years maybe, and then I came to Stockholm. I was around in Europe, and then I came up to Stockholm and wintered here last winter, and then I left when the winter harbor closed, and I've been out for 6 months, and now I am going back to, well, I am already back, but in the video I'm going back to the same winter harbor for this winter, and then I will be leaving again, so just to clarify what I mean. And about, you know, maneuvering, something that I do, wait, I'm just gonna check the shorts, which side I'm gonna go on this cardinal marker, okay. One thing that I do is that I'm always prepared. Like, I never enter a harbor without lines and fenders out, because that just spells disaster in my mind. I've lost my engine so many times throughout my life that I will never ever ever go close to land unprepared. Yeah, but what I've done, because today I know I'm gonna be alongside, so when I prep the boat to be alongside, let me show you. I have lines and fenders on both sides because I don't know which side I'm gonna wanna have against the kite. Yeah, and then I run lines so that I can grab them in the middle, so I can grab both the stern and that line at the same time. And I've done the same on the other side, and I place these in a very specific way because I know, you know, from making 1,000 mistakes, which way tangles the least. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So depending on what type of mooring it is, I will prep lines and fenders in various ways. Yeah, just like take it easy, be prepared, and that's pretty much all I can say. After a bit of hassle, we're now moored. I'm here, and Toby's here, and the ferries that are very loud are right here. The harbor is officially closed for the season, but you're supposed to be able to like pay remotely and also pay for the electricity and like type in which socket you're in and they're supposed to turn on, but they didn't. And I used my motor a lot to get here, and I'm gonna have to use it a lot tomorrow as well. So I was very concerned about not having electricity, because right now I was like, okay, well, I'm not barely gonna make it out of the harbor with the power I've got left. But the harbor captain came down and she helped us, and we moved the boats because she couldn't, apparently there was something wrong with the system, so she couldn't get it on either, but she had some other outlets. So she helped us move the boats as far in as possible, and connect to a little shed by her house, well, by the harbor office. So that was great, and we lucked out because the other sockets only had 10 amps and this is 16. So now I can run the heater and charge the motor, so I'm very happy about that. And now we're going out for food. Thank you so much for watching this week's episode. This was the third episode of like a 4-part series of me just like going to my winter harbor. So the next episode will be the last part of that. Stay tuned, and don't forget to like and subscribe.